body locks up in moments that used to be simple. Getting up from a chair, turning your torso, squatting, raising your arms, hips, knees, shoulders, spine, wrists, ankles. You measure every gesture before you perform it. You negotiate with your own structure how far you can go. And that caution has become so automatic that it has completely replaced the spontaneity you knew decades ago. What happened is that your fascia has lost hydration over the years, compressing nerves and reducing joint glide. There is a 90-second hermetic ritual capable of making your joints glide again as if time had rolled back. 30 years, a technique that ancestral traditions preserved and that somatic neuroscience is now validating. You are going to learn this exact sequence in the next few minutes, and before the end of this video, you will feel the transformation happening in your own body. This process has layers that most people have never discovered. Fascia is not just a structure that wraps around muscles and bones. It functions as living memory, recording mechanical and emotional patterns over decades. When you were a child, you moved without calculating. Over the years, microtremors, repetitive postures, and states of protection taught this tissue to harden, to contract, to create barriers where there used to be spontaneous fluidity. In Hermetic traditions, the joints were understood as portals between the physical and the energetic, seals that accumulated both the weight of gravity and the vibrational weight of stories not released, of fears that had become chronic in the body. Reopening these portals was not just about restoring movement. It was about giving the body back its ability to circulate vital force without impediments, allowing energy to pass through the structure without meeting blockages. There is a physiological mechanism operating behind this. When fascia hardens, it compresses nerve endings and reduces the synovial lubrication that keeps joints gliding. But there is something deeper. This tissue contains mechanoreceptors that send continuous signals to the nervous system about the state of the body. Chronic tension communicates constant threat, activating defensive circuits that keep you in a state of alert, shortening your breath and narrowing the range of motion that is possible. Recent studies reveal that fascia speaks directly with the brain through proprioceptive receptors, modulating the perception of safety or danger. When it is rigid, the nervous system interprets this as a need for protection, locking in chronic muscle tension and creating a cycle where limited movement generates more rigidity, which generates more limitation. The body learns to move less and less because each gesture starts to be interpreted as a risk. That is why you hesitate before squatting, calculate before turning your torso, measure how far you can raise your arms. It is not weakness, it is not failure. It is your body obeying biological laws of disuse and signaling to the brain that movement is dangerous. But there is someone who lived this exact bodily prison and found the way back. This person's story will illuminate everything you have just discovered. Claire was 54 and lived in Austin, dividing her days between interior design, consulting, and walks in the park that grew shorter and shorter. The body that used to climb clients' stairs without a second thought now demanded constant breaks. Getting up from a chair, squatting to measure baseboards, turning her torso to reach fabric samples. Each movement came with a silent calculation of how much it was going to hurt. The stiffness in her hips created a cautious gait that she hated to recognize as old lady walk. She woke up already negotiating with her own body, whether she could visit 3 clients that day, or if she would have to cut down to 2. Her knees announced their limits before she even got out of bed. What hurt the most was not the physical pain, but the feeling that her body was betraying her plans, stealing the confidence she had always had in moving freely. Claire tried physical therapy, focused on passive stretching. It brought relief for a few hours, but the pattern returned the next day. She invested in collagen supplements that promised to rebuild cartilage, with no concrete results. She tried yoga, but her stiff body could not keep up with the poses without sharp pain. Each attempt reinforced the feeling that maybe this was it, that this was the new normal and she would have to learn to live with less. One day, while visiting her daughter, Claire watched her 5-year-old granddaughter absent-mindedly circling her ankles while drawing on the floor. Circular, unconscious, fluid movement. Something in that childlike gesture echoed a dormant bodily memory, the feeling of when she herself moved like that, without fear, without calculation. In that instant, she did not know it yet, but she was about to discover that her joints held a specific reactivation code. What happened in the following 90 days changed not only her mobility, but her entire relationship with her own body. Claire went back to climbing stairs without stopping, to squatting without negotiating, to waking up without calculating the day based on anticipated pain. But before revealing exactly what she discovered, you are going to experience this in your own body now. The 90-second Hermetic ritual works on 5 joint portals: ankles, knees, hips, spine and shoulders, as an integrated system of fascial circulation. Circular micromovements activate all layers of the tissue simultaneously, pumping interstitial fluids and decompressing nerves that had been trapped for years. You are going to move through each portal with slow, conscious movements, feeling internal textures you may never have noticed before. Start with the ankles. Sitting or lying down, draw slow circles with your feet, first clockwise, then counterclockwise. Imagine each circle gently ringing a sponge inside the joint, releasing fluid that was stagnant. You may feel warmth rising along the back line of your legs, a light tingling in the arches of your feet, a pulsing that was not there before. Do 6 circles in each direction, without rushing, allowing the sensation to spread. Now, the knees. Bend your legs and place your hands over the joint capsules, feeling the internal movement as you draw circles with your knees. Focus on decompression. Imagine space being created between the femur and the tibia, as if the joint were breathing for the first time in years. The synovial fluid begins to circulate again, lubricating surfaces that were dry. 6 circles in each direction, paying attention to any difference between the right and left knee. The hips are the next portal. Standing or sitting, make circular movements with your pelvis, as if you were drawing invisible circles with your sacrum. You will notice your lower back loosening, the sciatic nerves gaining space, the breath dropping deeper into your abdomen. It is common to feel light pops. Do not force them, but also do not be afraid of them. They are gas pockets being released from joints that were compressed. 6 circles in each direction. If there is sharp pain at any point, reduce the range of motion but keep the circularity. The circular form is what activates fascial hydration. Linear movements do not have the same effect. If one side is stiffer than the other, Dedicate a few extra circles there, without forcing, just inviting the tissue to open at its own pace. The body responds to invitation, not imposition. Pay attention to the changes that are already happening. Maybe you feel your feet warmer, your knees less locked when you bend them, your breath reaching places that were blocked. These are the first responses of the nervous system recognizing that it is safe to move again, that the fascia is being invited to glide. Before completing the 2 remaining portals, there is something crucial about Claire that you need to know. What she discovered when she started this ritual completely changed the trajectory of her body. After watching her granddaughter, Claire began to experiment 90 seconds upon waking, moving through ankles, knees, and hips with conscious circular movements. In the first days, she felt only mild warmth, a sense that something was moving inside. In the second week, she woke up and noticed that the usual mental negotiation was no longer there. She simply got out of bed without calculating. After 30 days, Claire squatted down in her office to reach fabric samples in a low cabinet, without thinking, without calculating, without fear. Her knees glided. Something in the quality of her movement had come back, not just range, but visceral confidence. Her walks in the park went from 15 to 40 minutes. The cautious gait disappeared. She went back to climbing client stairs without pausing between steps. In 90 days, Claire was moving as if she had gone back 30 years in time. Her body stopped being a territory of negotiation and became once again an instrument of work, of life, of presence. She did not become younger on the calendar. She became younger in her fascia, in her joints, in the way her nervous system interprets movement. What Claire felt is exactly what is beginning to happen now in your body. Portals being reopened, information circulating again. Now the spine. Sitting or standing, make gentle undulations with your spine, segment by segment, like a vertical serpent moving through you. Start at the base, the sacrum tilting forward and back, and let the movement rise, vertebra by vertebra, up to the neck. You are mobilizing cerebrospinal fluid, giving space to the spinal nerves, allowing the vertebrae to glide with less friction. 6 complete undulations, slow, conscious. The last portal is the shoulders. Start with wide, slow circles, moving your shoulders forward, up, back, down. Then reduce the range and refine the movement. Smaller, more precise circles. You will notice lymphatic chains activating, chronic tension in the trapezius beginning to release, the breath expanding in the upper part of your chest. 6 circles in each direction, feeling the difference between the beginning and the end. Now you have moved through the 5 portals. An unlocked ankle frees the knee frees the hip frees the lower back frees the thoracic spine, the spine frees the shoulders. It is all one continuous network. When you rehydrate one point, the effect spreads along the entire fascial line. When you decompress one joint, nerves in other regions also gain space. The central ritual is complete. 90 seconds moving through the 5 portals, reactivating fascial circulation and nerve communication that had been dormant. Now comes the moment to seal this transformation in the body, so that it is not just a passing experience, but a new pattern you can access whenever you need. Pause for a moment and feel what has changed. Your breath is probably dropping deeper into your abdomen, reaching places that were blocked minutes ago. Maybe you notice lightness in your joints when you move your arms or legs, as if something that was compressed had gained space. There may be residual warmth in your hips, knees, shoulders, points that were cold or tense now, pulsing with reactivated circulation. These are markers that the fascia has responded, that the portals have opened. Now you are going to anchor this new state. Place your hands on your hips, fingers pointing forward, thumbs on your back, and make light circular pressure for 30 seconds while breathing deeply. This simple gesture seals the information in the nervous system. You can repeat it discreetly at any moment of the day, standing in line at the supermarket, sitting in the car before a meeting. It is a portable anchor that reactivates the memory of gliding when you feel the stiffness returning in the coming days. And it may return because decades of pattern do not disappear all at once. Pause for 90 seconds. Move through the 5 portals with conscious circular movements and repeat internally as you do it. My body remembers how to glide. This protocol turns the ritual into a long-term tool, not just a passing experience. You have just reclaimed something you thought was lost. The seal is complete. What has happened now goes beyond muscles and joints. It has to do with your entire relationship with time, matter, and presence in your own body. What you felt in the last few minutes was not illusion. It was real reorganization of the physical structure, responding to the invitation you made through conscious movement. You now carry something rare, the direct perception that biological time is not linear. Rehydrated fascia, gliding joints, decompressed nerves. This is not illusion. It is real structural reorganization happening as you breathe. The body has gone back to recognizing movement as safety, not as risk. From now on, you will notice things that previously went unnoticed. The quality of your walking, the ease of turning your torso, the absence of mental negotiation before moving. The 90-second Hermetic ritual is just the entryway. There are other layers of fascial unlocking, other energetic portals, other bridges between neuroscience and occult traditions waiting to be explored. This video opened a door. It did not close a cycle. The body holds deeper memories that have not yet been touched, patterns inherited from previous generations, somatic traumas that call for release through specific gestures you are still going to discover. Paracelsus wrote, "The body is the temple where the invisible becomes tangible." Every circular movement you made was a gesture of conversation with this temple, a request to return to original fluidity. You were not just moving joints, you were dialoguing with the intelligence inscribed in the matter of your own body. An intelligence that never forgot how to glide, even when you stopped inviting it. God inscribed in your joints the possibility of perpetual gliding, not as an external miracle that descends from outside in, but as an internal potential that requires only the conscious invitation you have just made. Rigidity was never a divine sentence. It was only the absence of intentional movement, and you reversed that in the last few minutes. If this ritual brought real relief, leave a like so that more people can discover that stiffness does not need to be permanent. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. New videos explore deeper layers of somatic release and vibrational awakening that go beyond what has been revealed here. Share this video with someone you know is silently negotiating pain with their own body. Someone who deserves to regain the confidence to move without fear. Channel members sustain the production of this content and allow it to reach those who need it most. Consider supporting. In the comments, write, "I've given 30 years back to my joints and my body remembers how to move." This strengthens the algorithm and creates a network of living testimony. There is another crucial video appearing on the screen right now. Watch it to continue this journey of reconnection with what was forgotten. If time has rolled back in your joints, where else can it roll back? When you learn to speak to the body